Hello, friends. I'm so glad you could join me outside today. I thought with a little bit of sunshine, maybe we could read outside today. So I've already selected the book for us. We're going to be reading a book today called Muhammad Ali, okay? And as always, we're going to start with 3 things that will help us better understand the story before we check in on the front cover and begin. So, firstly, this good reader question will help you better connect to Muhammad Ali. And the good reader question is this: has anyone ever taken something from you without asking? Has anyone ever taken something from you without asking? I know when I was a kid and my brother and I were playing together, I often felt like a lot of times he would snatch toys out of my hands without asking permission from me first. So if you're able, pause this video and talk to someone near you about if someone has ever taken something from you without asking. Great. Thinking about that will help you better understand the story, Muhammad Ali, okay? The second thing we're going to do is talk about a word that will help us better understand the story. The word is, I say, you say, band. Band. Let's snap it out. Ready, set, snap. Band. On our nose. Ready, set, nose. Band. Like a robot. Ready, set, robot. Band. Always count. Ready, set, count. Band. How many parts? Just one in the word band. And banned means when you're not allowed to do something that you really like. You've been banned from doing it. You're not allowed to do it anymore. The genre of this book is nonfiction, meaning that the author wrote it to teach us something new and true. And the kind of nonfiction book this is a biography, which just means that the author is teaching us about the life of someone who really lived. Let's move on to the front cover. So I can notice several things about Muhammad Ali by looking at the front cover, especially because he was a real person and my brain knows some things about him. So I noticed several of his identities. I know in this book his age identity, that he starts as a kid and then grows into a grown-up. I know that his gender identity is a man, that Muhammad Ali identifies as a man. I know his race identity is black, and I know his spirituality identity is that he's a Muslim. So let's begin. Muhammad Ali by Maria Isabel Sanchez Vergara and illustrated by Brosmind. Once, there was a little boy from Kentucky who knew he would go far in life. His name was Cassius, and he lived in a little house with his parents and younger brother. You see his parents there and his younger brother. The illustrator has given us some information about his family identity. One day, someone stole his brand new bicycle. He told the police officer that he wanted to face the thief, but the officer said, "Cassius, you better learn to fight first." I can see the illustrator showing us here that Muhammad Ali is quite upset that his bike was taken from him without asking. Soon, Cassius was learning how to box. He was not the strongest fighter, but he had a secret weapon. He was faster than anyone else. Fight after fight, Cassius proved himself as a junior boxer. His talent took him to the Olympics in Rome, where he won a gold medal. But it was not enough. He dreamed of going professional. Professional is where you do something for a job. So the author is telling us that Cassius wanted to become a boxer as his job. He trained harder than ever, and not just in the ring. Cassius set his sights on the World Heavyweight Championship. That's one of the biggest prizes you can win in boxing. I noticed that the author and illustrator are showing us that he didn't just train his body to get stronger, he also trained his mind by reading books to make his brain smarter. To tease his opponents, Cassius often used rhymes describing how he was going to win. Some thought it was trash talk, that's where you talk with red words, but it sounded like poetry, that means it was beautiful, and it worked. He got his chance to fight for the title against Sonny Liston, one of the world's toughest fighters. Everyone thought Cassius was scared to death, but he proved the champion's belt belonged to him. That means that he won the fight and he won the championship, which was one of his goals. Cassius was not just a famous boxer, but also a courageous defender of African American rights in a time when it was dangerous to speak up. I noticed that Cassius is stopping the untrue story that white people are better than black people because of their race, even though it might be unsafe for him to do that. But he does what he believes is right, because it seems like that's really important to him. He also became inspired by the teachings of Islam and changed his name to Muhammad Ali, a beautiful Arabic name that made him feel strong and proud to be himself. Here the author is talking about his spirituality identity, how he believes the world works. Then a war started on the other side of the world. Although it was wrong, Ali thought it was wrong and refused to fight in it. He was stripped of his title and banned from boxing for 3 years. Banned means that you're not allowed to do something that you really like. But for him, belief in doing the right thing were more important. Now, we know that boxing was really important to Muhammad Ali, so the consequence of being banned must have been really hard for him. But I hear the author saying that he did it anyways because he thinks that fighting just makes problems bigger. I wonder if that was a hard choice for him to make. When Ali came back, he did it as only the greatest do. The Ali Shuffle, the rope-a-dope, he won some of his most famous fights, becoming the first boxer to win the heavyweight belt 3 times. So the author's telling us that after his consequence was over, he came back and won a lot in his job of boxing. Muhammad Ali was admired and loved by people from all around the world, and when he retired, he gave all that love back by working for charities and helping other people. Since then, many young boxers have followed in the steps of Muhammad Ali, the little boy who used to say, "One day, I'm going to be the greatest." Thanks for reading this story with me today. As always, we have a good reader question, which will help make your brain be a better reader, especially if you answer it using evidence from the book. So the good reader question is this: why did Muhammad Ali get banned from boxing? Why did Muhammad Ali get banned from boxing? Take a moment to think about that, knowing that a good answer will use evidence from the text, meaning it sounds like Muhammad Ali got banned because, and I know that because the author wrote or the illustrator drew. Now, if you're able, pause this video and talk to someone near you about why Muhammad Ali got banned from boxing. Great. Talking about that will definitely make you a better reader. My answer is that Muhammad Ali got banned from boxing as a consequence for saying no to the government when they asked him to fight in a war. But I know that to him, choosing to not fight because he didn't believe in fighting was more important than the consequence that he got. And I know that because the author wrote, Ali thought it was wrong and refused to fight. And I also know that because the author wrote, but for Muhammad Ali, beliefs were more important. That's how I know that he got banned, because he chose not to fight in a war, because he chose to listen to his heart and brain instead. As always, when we're done reading a nonfiction text, it's important to fill out an idea web afterwards so we can prove what we learned from the story. An idea web always includes the topic in the middle, or what the book is mostly about, and space for details around the edge, or the new and true things that you learned. Now, we know the topic of this book, what it was mostly about, was, you can read with me, ready, set, read, Muhammad Ali. That's right, we know the book was mostly about the real person, Muhammad Ali. So now I have space to include 4 details or new and true things that I learned about Muhammad Ali. I think without even researching, the first one that my brain wants to say is he was a boxer. That's what I'm going to do. He was a boxer. I was hoping you could write that with me. He. He is a basketball word. Ready, set, dribble. H-E spells he. So I'm going to copy those letters down. Was is a basketball word. Ready, set, dribble. W-A-S spells was. So I'm going to write that down. W-A-S. He was a. A is a basketball word. Ready, set, dribble. A spells A. And my last word is boxer, which is not a basketball word, so I'm going to have to hear the sounds and write what I hear. Ready, set, sounds. B, ox, B is B. Ah is O. X is X. And is R. I'm going to read it back just to make sure I'm happy with it. Ready, set, read. He was a boxer. That's definitely true. I remember that from the story. So now your job is to complete your own idea web about Muhammad Ali, including as many as 4 details or new and true things that you learned about him. Remember that you can always write your details with words. You can also draw them with an illustration. You can also say them with words to someone near you and record your voice. Any of those are a great way for your brain to learn. So I can't wait to hear what you learned about Muhammad Ali.